Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Belfast, where 18 days on, we've reached the last matchday Rugby World Cup 2017, the day to decide the final outcomes with perceived success or failure attached. Northern Ireland has, as ever, provided some wonderful backdrops to the last legs of the tournament. The Titanic Museum, the Giant's Causeway, the Antrim coastline have kept players, fans and commentators engaged during their days off. But now, well, it's back to business as the final classifications are sorted. The Asian matchup ended as usual in favour of Japan. The Euro Central contest went to Italy after extra time. In the Celtic clash, well, Wales got the ticket to the next World Cup by finishing 7th. We're going to see who's going to finish 5th in our matchup between Australia and Canada here at the Queen's University. The third matchup is going to be maybe the toughest game to play today. That'll be France against USA. And then a repeat of the 2010 final. Who is going to be lifting the trophy? It's going to be England or New Zealand.
Yeah! Hey! Ah!
Queen's University Sports Campus hosting its final match of Rugby World Cup 2017, though it's the first World Cup encounter between Australia and Canada. The first formalities of the day, the Heineken coin toss. Sarah Cox officiating. Shani Williams and Kelly Russell know each other very well. Well, it was Kelly Russell that's taken the call. She's going to take the kick. Shani Williams deciding where she is going to be to start the game. Let's take a look at the two teams. Australia unchanged from their win over Ireland. Elisha Samoa making a name for herself at tight head. Boyle, Butler and Hamilton, a big, forceful trio of breakaways with no Shannon Parry, of course. The Wallaroos discovered a good blend of power, pace and creativity on their last outing, with Hewson, Williams and Riordan offering plenty of varying options in that midfield spine. Canada make 3 personnel changes and 2 positional. Talking impressive tight heads, well, Dalika Menin is back as a starter today. Keep your eyes on the Canadian number 3. Their back line has Alex Tessier leading at fly half. It means Emily Belchos moving along one place, Magali Harvey returning to add her own distinctive firepower out wide. Louise Burrows is the solitary change to the Australian squad. Experience of plenty there on the Canadian side of the bench. Well, plenty of green and gold and red and white in the stands as they get set for this final match, the final game on the interesting travails of these two teams. Shani Williams and Kelly Russell leading them out, faced each other in country colours, of course, many times in the sevens format. But this is a first in any 15s World Cup tournament between the two. A match that would decide whether they go home with smiles on their faces. It may be the 5th, 6th playoff, but to fans and players alike, plenty of value to the outcome of this last match. As you can see, plenty of vocal support, wonderful colours and ingredients and flavours in this Rugby World Cup. And these two teams have added their own distinctive versions to everything that's gone on through the last 3 weeks. First up, the anthems though, and after we have Advance Australia Fair, it'll be Canada's anthem, O Canada.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding as we play the national anthem of Australia.
Australians, well,
upstanding as we now play the national anthem of Canada.
Our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. Quand t'embrasse l'autre il sait porter la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée, les plus brillants exploits. Chaque cri par land, glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Well, plenty of emotion in those faces as they get set for their last run out. Australia with the same 15 after that Ireland victory. Samoa and Patu Shine-Campbell making a name for themselves in that front row. You look at the back line and Hewson, Williams and Reardon really have combined perfectly with so many different options in attack for the Wallaroos. Three different faces, two different positions in the Canada lineup. Dalika Menin back as tight head. And changes in the back line with Alex Tessier coming in at fly half. Belchos moving to inside centre. Magali Harvey, once again a threat, wearing the 14 jersey. Plenty of experience in Canadian ranks, experience as well for Louise Burrows, returning to the Australia squad this afternoon. There's the referee from England, Sarah Cox, along with Kwangile Jadaswani and Marie Lamat. Her assistant referees, Kevin Beggs, the man in the truck, who will officiate should it be required. Delighted to have once again Carl Tanana alongside me. Carl, this is an enthralling encounter because it's so difficult to call.
Yeah, good afternoon, Simon. Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's going to be one of top quality. Both of these teams had dominant wins in their last outings. Canada, well, they absolutely hammered Wales and Australia, dispatching Ireland quite impressively. I think this one's going to be a classic.
Well, certainly, Magali Harvey has made a mark once again on this tournament, as she did 3 years ago in France. Australia have been on the up from the word go, since unhappily falling just behind their hosts in the first encounter. It is the final 80 minutes of the Rugby World Cup 2017 for Canada and Australia. Who is going to leave with the feel-good factor? Who is going to take a victory back home to boast about for the next 4 years? Emily Belchos with the ball, with the responsibility and honour of kicking this final game off.
Okay, ready?
These two have only met 2 previous occasions, though the last one was in June in New Zealand, in Rotorua, when Canada won quite handsomely 45-5. But you would suggest 2 teams in different places right now as Sarah Reardon sets up the stall for the Wallaroos. You can hear the noise, you can hear the energy and enthusiasm within the ranks. The contact area is going to be huge for this one. Ashley Hewson being wrapped up by her opposite number, Alex Tessier. She's 22 years of age, Tessier, and getting this early call really to see if she can dictate things as the playmaker. She's played it inside centre before. Hewson, well, with plenty more experience on her CV. 37-year-old, a really classy footballer. Talking of classy footballers, there's Julianne ZUSSMAN. What an impact she's made at fullback. Samantha Traherne escapes her though, does well. The Aussie 15. takes them up to the 10-metre line.
Wait, wait!
Here come the forwards, led by Samoa. Shane Campbell feeding on to the next phalanx of forwards that making some headway now into Canada territory for the first time in the match. It's not going to be an easy red wall to breach in this game, though. Hewson opts to move her team further up, but the kick just allowing the immediate response from ZUSSMAN. Australia are going to have to be careful how they kick. That's a great pull-in take from Mahalia Murphy. Great handling skills from the left winger. And both teams getting through phases, but particularly Australia. No stoppages as yet. Campbell. Hewson. Good evasive footwork from Hewson, and the offload there to Reardon. Sarah Reardon takes Australia up to the Canadian 22. Barker. Out to Millie Boyle, big, huge physical presence. Boyle plays in the second row as well as the back row. Barker directing operations. Again, Reardon with quick hands to Shani Williams. Williams partially stopped. Big opportunity for Australia here. In come the runners, Campbell. Boyle again.
They're lost, leave it now.
Little offload is there, but
Can't see advantage.
not quite room for Alicia Hewitt. Almost there for the Wallaroos. What a start this would be. Canada having to work so hard in defence right now. The little offload to put Reardon in. Reardon cuts against the weaker arms on the inside, and Sarah Reardon gets Australia on the board inside 4 minutes.
What an outstanding piece of phase play from the Australians. The ball kick was absolutely brilliant. This lady was in there a couple of times. Reardon, here's the initial break. Hewson, I think she's made a huge difference since she's come onto the first five in jersey number 10. She offloads to Reardon, who sets it up nicely with their break. And from here, they kept their composure. It was wave after wave after wave. Nice little impasse from Hewson. A nice little bit of footwork on the in. Well done.
Yeah, Reardon working that angle to catch the Canadian defence, floating, drifting out to the right, and finding the perfect angle to find her way to market. Ashley Hewson with a fairly simple start, you would think, from the tee. Job done, and what a start from the Wallaroos.
I think this lady here is going to be integral in the number 10 jersey. Got so much experience, the ex-captain of the Wallaroos. A lot of the times has played at international rugby at 15, but look at that last pass, just a vision from Ashley Hewson in to the fleet-footed Sarah Reardon. They are on fire at the moment, the Wallaroos.
I talked about the flexibility in that midfield, and you can see with a Reardon, who played at 10, don't forget, against Japan, just what she brings in terms of a playmaker, but also as a ball carrier. Big physical presence in that midfield. 14 phases Australia getting through to set up that opportunity, an opportunity which they took. Canada know they're in for a different sort of battle than they were in Rotorua 2 months ago. Barker having to dig that one out. Grace Hamilton. Nobody's carried the ball more than Hamilton, bar Kelly Russell in this tournament. Two number 8s really integral to the way that their team have operated. Shani Williams, captaining Australia. Look at the defiance from the Olympian. Again, up over halfway. It's all been about Australia so far. Barker gets the call. That is a very, very good take from Hewitt.
JD, can you get her looked at, please? 5 red.
Campbell.
Just tell the medics we need to have a look at 5
Latoya
red,
Blackwood's
please.
in a little bit of trouble in back play. The Canadian second row. Australia are not going to wait though. pressing their foot onto the accelerator, pressing their foot onto the throat of this Canadian side. It has been all action from the Wallaroos so far. Good tackle from Laura Russell. Boyle.
No, let's go with it to start with.
Chloe Butler in there as well.
Right, move.
Both of those breakaways capable of playing back row or second row. Barker feeds again. Again, Hewitt offering to do the hard yards. Hewson looking for that advance, and that is a very clever kick from the Aussie number 10.
Doesn't get much better. And the weight and the options she used, she kept it low. She knew she was under extreme pressure. She went high, was going to get charged down by Russell, but she went, oh, look at that, that's absolutely pinpoint.
Well, you can see why she's represented Australia in soccer as well as rugby. Mind you, you can add athletics and cricket onto that sporting CV. She is one classy sporting athlete, Ashley Hewson. Well, as you can see, the check being put into place for Latoya Blackwood, which means Kayla Mack, a familiar second row combatant from Canada, of course, gets an early run out.
Well, 7 minutes into this game, and the Canadians have had to make 54 tackles already. Australia, absolutely none.
Safe take from Jessie Grosnick. And Canada, in this first 7 minutes, have hardly had a chance to get anything going, let alone movement worthy of the name attack. Russell gets the call from Belchos.
Advantage is now over.
Brianna Miller made such an impact in that last game. Well, the kick from Amanda Thornborough coming through. I think that was the second row, Alicia Hewitt again. No, I beg pardon, that was Chloe Butler coming through. Look at this for a hit. Talk about pressure on the ball carrier.
It was a good read in defence because they were actually outnumbered. Canada had created a 3-on-2, but she comes off the line, Butler, and shuts it down.
Safe take from Rebecca Clough. In goes Hamilton at pace. Patu and Samoa made over 45 carries between them in that match against Ireland. I think Patu took the lion's share of them, so she's got bragging rights so far. Hamilton's handling just letting her down at a crucial moment.
Huge relief there and a huge let-off for the Canadians. They just had to repel wave after wave after wave. You see, they just had a little look up. Cindy Nels was coming in to make the hit. This Canadian team just had no ball whatsoever, had they, Simon?
Well, the stats say 97% possession for Australia. Well, if you want to know how the first 9 minutes have gone, that gives you a fair idea. There it is. Take a look at that. Yeah, they're just on the board, Canada. But inside their own 22, that 3%. Kelly Russell trying to change that particular stat. Russell earning her 53rd cap this afternoon. Such a stalwart, such a dynamic character. There's elder sister, Laura.
Wait!
Kayla Mack. The second row from Saskatoon doing some hard work early on. Tessier with the kick that doesn't find touch, only finds Traherne. Samantha Traherne, though, just says to Magali Harvey, please take a seat in the stands, I want to play rugby. And Australia are certainly playing rugby. There is an unexpected possession, great work from Cindy Nels. And now Canada try and get their attack into some sort of flow. Thornborough on to Allery. Allery handing back, there's a ricochet that's come off Williams, but the ball has gone to ZUSSMAN, and Julianne ZUSSMAN scored 2 tries against Australia 2 months ago. She's scored against them now here in Belfast, and Canada get themselves on the board.
Well, they say we only need 3% to get a score. They don't care where they are at the end of the field. It come from the turnover from Cindy Nels, the second row in jersey number 4. Here it is here, the hit up. Look at it, goes in, rips that ball away, and they spread it wide, 2 passes. That's the norm. You give it 1, 2, and then you assess. And ZUSSMAN, she's the one that summed up the situation. Nice pass by Ellery. It's knocked back there by Williams, and then from there, fortuitous bounce, you must say. But it just seems to fall for this young lady who's been on fire this World Cup, Julianne ZUSSMAN.
Yeah, she's received many plaudits from fans and commentators alike through the course of this tournament, and certainly put herself in the frame for the tournament dream team that will be announced later on. Brianna Miller, a confident kicker. Miller showed great style in that last game, and it's a fairly simple start for her.
Nice sweep to move. I like that in-ball from ZUSSMAN. Took out 2 defenders. Back into Thornborough. Just the ability to be able to just still keep in that support line. A lot of numbers there for Canada, but no one's going to stop this young lady.
Lucky bounce it may have been for Canada, but they say you make your own luck, and Canada certainly did that. You can see the threat of that back three, and you can add Thornborough in there as well. Well, the stats show that Canada have made the most meters in this tournament, made the most carries and the most offloads. That is a fair indicator of the jouet that Francois Ratier has asked his team to play with through this tournament.
And they've got experience, this Canadian team, so they wouldn't have been flustered by the early score, the early domination from Australia. Australia still a young unit, and now after that score, they made a mistake from kickoff, so they just have to reset here. Look at that. Tackles made absolutely a mountain load. Tackles missed 11. But they still find themselves 7-0 in a great attacking position midfield.
Yes, the bare stats about Australian experience is remarkable when you see that only 7 players have got more than 10 caps. But then you realise since the last World Cup, they've only played 5 tests. 3 of those were in June in New Zealand. They have shown what they can do given the chance. The Aussie 15 side, understandably, the Sevens has taken priority, and coming back from Rio with the gold medal was tremendous reward and deserved reward for those ladies.
Just keep them up.
But these 15s girls have really improved and impressed with every outing. ZUSSMAN taking Canada to just short of halfway as the forwards come round with intent. Dalika Menin amongst them. There's the loose head, Carolyn McEwen. Miller and Tessier, quick transference to try and open the door for Russell the elder. Tessier again. Maybe Francois Ratier looking for a little more threat from Tessier in that pivotal fly half roll. Grosnick. Plenty of threat from her. We've seen tries against Wales and New Zealand from the blind side. Kenny Russell. Lovely offload to McEwen. This Canadian game just getting oiled up. The grease applied to the cogs. And the continuity showing. What hands from Menin. Quick presentation from Miller. Tessier throws wide to ZUSSMAN. Out to Ellery. Just foot in touch. But Australia, well, they've coped with it, but they know that Canada have suddenly found their attacking mojo.
Yeah, they've woken up, that's for sure. The Canadians, the speed of the ball, nice pass and delivery from Tessier, and they're getting right to the edge, but equally great defence by Noretta Masters. Number 14, you see that, she's coming because she's been outnumbered. She's able to have him make up speed.
Cheyenne Campbell played at centre in that last World Cup. We talk about the flexibility in the women's game. Well, there's another case in point. As their hooker is going to line up for this next line out.
Stay up.
Well, I'm told that Latoya Blackwood will not be returning to the game, having failed her HIA, but plenty of experience, of course, with Kayla Mack. Talking of experience, Ashley Hewson brings Australia away from their 22. Tattoo. Well, the handling from Campbell, the pass not helping her tight head there.
No, no. She's
Alicia Samoa unable to pick that one up.
This is where the Australians are so good, as their skill base, and they'll be disappointed if they just dipped at the end, didn't it? Unfortunately, by Campbell. Got to Samoa, but that's a big one. Big loss for Canada. Latoya Blackwood, she was outstanding their last game against Wales. Got the player of the match.
Latoya
Blackwood.
just checking.
Coach!
Well, Alicia Samoa got the player of the match.
Set!
The last outing against Ireland. And really, well, it has been a tournament for the tight heads. You see Sarah Burnett, England. You see Samoa here for Australia. Menin as well, just to name 3 threes. They really have shown an all-court game that maybe we haven't been used to from the that particular side of the front row union. Sarah Cox extricating herself from a potential tackle. Here is Samoa. Again, those forwards lining up to go again. Millie Boyle leading the way. Here's Samoa. Houston again looking for that diagonal kick, but again, it's been anticipated by ZUSSMAN. And ZUSSMAN, with a wonderful step, takes her into open country. Houston makes up for the kick by dragging her down. My goodness me, she needed to take her prey down there, Houston. Paquin.
Yeah. Where to, Betsy?
Width on the ball, but they're going to go back.
Australia's line.
Let's just have a listen to
We've got
this.
TMO. There's a late tackle from 7 red. Okay, so it'll be a penalty
Late
against
tackle
you.
from Karen Paquin. There she is.
Must have been on the
Right,
near
ball
side of
is
the
here.
field, was it?
The call coming through from Kevin Beggs.
Right, okay, cool. Right, Mark will be here. Yes, yeah, Mark's here. He's still talking to me, that's why. Right. Penalty, late tackle, 7 red.
Paquin just got to make sure she has her timing right. Being picked up by the officials and allowing Samantha Traherne the chance to get her team out of their own half. Well, it's hard to believe we've only had 18 minutes gone, because it feels like a full half already, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's been high octane, and here's the incident. Paquin's just on the... Oh, geez, I don't know. I think it's okay, isn't it?
Always looks worse in slow motion. Australia going to make the most of it, though. As Hewitt comes through. Release to Hamilton. Grace Hamilton, such a workhorse for this Aussie outfit. Australian forwards swarming around the ball. There's Samoa again. Can you believe she had a baby less than a year ago? Unbelievable return to the game, and return with such impact. Barker feeds out, they've got width out there. Traherne, ball down by Paquin.
Leave it now, red, hands out!
Taken on by Murphy. Forwards are there, led by Samoa. Heads over the line, ball hasn't joined it as yet. They go short side, hands are up, especially the hands of the referee. That means try time. And I think it's gone to Liz Patu.
Well done, JD.
Oh, you betcha it has. And Patu was the one who gave the nice backdoor pass to Samantha Traherne. The loose hair prop, heavily involved, multi-skilled. This is just the back end of it. Over.
Well, normally a back rower or a lock. The Queenslander showing, though, she can do it whatever number's on her back. Big score as
Thank you very much.
the game enters the second quarter. It's the Wallaroos with their noses in front once again.
Remember, that came all from a penalty from the Canadians, so they'll have to keep their discipline, because the Australians have already shown that can hold this ball for long periods of play. And what I'm so impressed with is their work after contact. They'll take the hit, their ball runners, and they'll keep pumping the legs and making yards again over the vantage line. And the Canadians, well, defence going backwards, they can't get their hands on the ball.
Hewson unable to find the target with that one, but her team do get the reward for the attacking power and pace that they've shown through this game. Here you see the forwards again, the position set up by the fullback Traherne, but so many options there. And if it wasn't one prop leading the way, it was the other one.
What was so impressive, she was the one that gave the pass, and then she cleaned out, and then she picked up the next ruck, and then she gets up off that and gets the score. Worrying times though for the Canadian coach.
Francois Ratier just mulling over things. His last game in charge of the Canadians. Indeed, both head coaches are in charge of their last games.
That's all right, mate, no worries.
Both teams determined, of course, to finish on that high
Time back on.
in terms of their tournament campaigns and, of course, their coaches' reign as well. There's Reardon again. Patu setting it back, and the forwards go again. This time it's Rebecca Clough, the Western Australian captain, getting some momentum into the pick and drives for her national team. Good handling. Reardon, little show and go, but dragged down well by Cindy Nels. Oh, the handling just letting Millie Boyle down on that occasion.
Yeah, she knows she should have taken it. She's had a little look up at Dalika Menon in front of it. But again, the battle at the contact area, Australia winning it by a mile at the moment.
Well, Millie Boyle comes from a family of league superstars, and she has been principal in those carries that you see there. Brother Morgan, Gold Coast Titans, her dad played for Canberra Raiders.
Okay, hang on.
She's flying the flag in the Union game for her country. There she is wearing 6.
Scrum half. Wait for me. But just stable. Don't go anywhere until the ball then comes in, okay? Just yeah. No, we're back in. We're back in. Crouch. Bind. Set. Steady.
Miller with the put in. This Canadian pack, big heavy pack, holding solid as Russell feeds the scrum off. Now, first real chance for Harvey. Finds Mahalia Murphy hanging around her, both 7 stars, of course. Laura Russell crawls another half-metre. Tessier, Belchos. Well, Reardon's out for the count there. Now back to her feet, but ZUSSMAN is striding away. ZUSSMAN over the 22. Once again, the Canadian fullback, such a threat. Belchos sees a way to the line. The door's closed very quickly, but there's numbers to the left. Oh, Allery, almost conjuring up a brilliant pick-up from that pass, but the moment has gone for the Canadian attack.
Oh, that ball needed to go short there.
No.
But look at this.
Yeah, Thomas.
They shift the ball, they hit and spin from Thornborough.
Okay?
But this lady here, Julianne ZUSSMAN, she's the best fullback, I think, here at the World Cup, and she's showing it in this game. She's been outstanding.
But knocked on into an Australian
Set up nice to get good, quick, clean ball.
Okay?
But Tessier has to hit it. Oh, sorry, it's
Thornborough.
Yeah.
Thornborough.
There's no option.
The pass just dying at the feet of Allery.
Okay? So
Lisa Allery, such a threat on the wing.
Make sense?
Injured for that game in Rotorua. There's Reardon. It's a clash of 13 on 13 there.
She went into the tackle face up, didn't she? And she just caught the shoulder of Thornborough.
Can I grab one of them as well? Is that right? Thank you.
Kayla Savao getting the call from the bench. Presumably an HIA. Somewhat distressed Sarah Reardon was carried off.
Substitution for Australia. Number 13, Sarah Reardon, replaced by number
She will have that head injury assessment before a decision is made whether she can return to the fray. For now, it's Savao, who's a regular starter really at 13 or at 12
it's a knock-on
for the
you guys,
Wallaroos.
Then it went out into touch by them, okay?
Reardon been such a huge part of the attack for this Australian team. Got the first score in this game.
Oh, have we got a ball?
Bullocking runs.
Oh, it's that side. Hang on, guys.
Well,
hang
we're
on.
told
Guys, we got
there
no ball.
is
Just stand up again,
going to be
reset.
no possibility of return
She
for
just-
Sarah
yeah, she
Reardon.
just
That
chucked the
is
ball in
a
there.
replacement
Yeah,
call.
it's on that.
So hence the distress in her face, understandable.
Yes, fair enough. She looked like she was out before she hit the ground, so that's a good call. Safety, paramount. An opportunity for Savao early on in this match.
Big, powerful drive from the Canadian 8. That's got the Canadian fans up and chanting.
Yeah.
What a statement from that front 8 from Canada. Look, the shoulders, the back. That isn't a statement. I don't know what is in there. Well, does the captain say, we'll go again?
Plenty of those girls were at the Malone 10s tournament yesterday, come up from Newfoundland, arriving earlier in the week, so they had a successful day yesterday in that 10s tournament, and now hoping that their national team can provide them with a big smile to go back to North America.
I'll be very surprised if this ball goes past Kelly Russell, the boot of the scrum after that. Well, they just showed there.
Turn back on.
I really want to keep them down, this Australian front unit, if they're able to do that and get a pushover try from this position.
Certainly it is something that Canada have been able to establish in most of their games, bar the New Zealand game. They've had forward ascendancy.
Stay back, Flanker, stay back.
And as predicted by Carlton Honor, Kelly Russell now picks and goes. Belchos has to go back to pick up the bouncing ball, but it is still there for her team.
The advantage is still there.
Nels releasing. Tracy Grusnick. Quick presentation. As the forwards come round the corner, Nels again. Miller pulls it out. Tessier with a little lob pass, and it's going to be Amanda Thornborough. Thornborough levels things up, and this tit-for-tat game continues to produce quality rugby.
There's a quality offload from Laura Russell onto Nels. I set up the last quick ruck there. They always had the numbers. Look at this, Russell to the second row on Nels. Quick ball, good clean out. The numbers are loaded to the right-hand side, and they get it there finally. Alex Tessier gets it over the top to an unmarked Amanda Thornborough.
2 tries in that opener against Hong Kong, indeed 2 tries off the bench for Amanda Thornborough. And now able to be in position to finish things off very simply.
Gold. Yeah, that's it. And then we'll worry about numbers afterwards, all right?
Oh, what a game we have here. Pair of tries each, but it's been a real nip and tuck affair. And if the next 50-odd minutes produces the same quality rugby, well, what a fantastic way to finish their campaigns.
We always knew that this Canadian team was stacked with class players, didn't we? But this Australian team, I think they've been the surprise. That you spoke about it in such a short space of time. They've got themselves to a level that's been very, very competitive. Only I wish that they can get some more support at home. They could be anything.
And Canada unable to get the extras, but Francois Ratier happier with his team, and they produced attacking rugby like that. Scores all tied on the board as we move into the final 10 minutes of this first half.
At least look like you're behind there, yeah?
We have to use the last encounter between these two, which was, as I say, in Rotorua back in June. Half the Australian side were playing in that, 2/3 of the Canadian side. But Canada ran in 7 tries to 1 in a 45-5 victory. ZUSSMAN already on the scoreboard against them, had a couple, and plenty of others there. No Allery, Blackwood or Burke on that occasion for the Canadians.
You just had to
But
let go,
this
Tina.
is a very different Australian side already. Cindy Nels stretching out to take her team up towards halfway. Russell with the release. Harvey, double gained. A little high, I think, by Savao.
How big has Cindy Nels been in this first 30 minutes? Outstanding number 4 for Canada.
There she is again, doesn't get the ball this time. Belchos sends it out left. Karen Pacan now with the first chance to really show her pace to Elisa Allery. Allery stumbles towards the line. Great defensive work, though, by Samantha Traherne. My goodness me, the Aussie fullback had to have her wits about her then.
Well, has she put this out on purpose? You can't do that. I think it's a penalty. Is that what we're looking at?
Against Australia, back towards the halfway line.
Yep.
I'm just going to tee it up for you now.
Thank you, Maxie.
Some things for the officials to look at.
Here it comes, Sarah.
Oh, the high shot.
See Pacan like an auxiliary centre or winger.
Okay, we just need a better angle,
Yeah, no worries,
Sarah.
Maxie, no worries.
We know she's blessed with pace.
So we're saying Australia
Number 7, Karen
have
Pacan.
committed
As
the
fast
offence
going
against
backwards
Red.
as she is going forwards, it would
Correct.
appear. This
Okay,
was the hit, I
sorry,
think, on
Sarah, this one. Bang.
Belchos.
That's the one there.
Bexy, it's not the greatest distance-wise. I'm coming closer to the screen.
Well, this is lazy. This is absolutely
Okay.
lazy,
Look,
unfortunately.
I've got 12
Record
red.
clock, she's gone.
She's on her way down.
10
and
minutes,
4 gold has gone to make the tackle.
It's
In
Rebecca
that,
Clough, the lady
She
in
has subsequently
question.
gone high. For me, I'm going penalty, yellow card.
Against yellow 4.
Yes, yeah.
Yes, I'm happy with that.
Okay,
Yeah,
fine.
Australian second
So
row is
we'll
going
go
to
back
sit
for the
out the
penalty
final,
because it's gone
the
out
best
here.
part of the final 10 minutes of this half.
Yeah, right. Okay, so we'll play through the advantage. Okay, we'll go here and we'll take the line out here, Begsy, yeah? Because it's come off gold, so we'll take the line out here.
Yeah, the advantage rightly
That's fine.
being played
Yeah.
by Sarah Cox to
That's
give
fine,
the
yeah.
Right, and
Canadian
4
line
gold,
out
yeah?
the chance to produce attacking ball
Captain,
such proximity to the Australian try
And
line,
4
but I
gold
don't
picks,
think
yeah?
Rebecca Clough is going to be part of that line out.
4. Yeah, look. You sent it on the screen as well, okay? It's gone high. All right. You're going to the bin, okay? All right.
Shakes her head, but I don't think you really got any defence for that one.
It's your line out.
Well, it is when
We'll
Emily
take it from
Belchos
here.
is
You
now
happy with
going
that?
off for an
Yep.
HIA.
Right.
Difficult as it is
Advantage
for a
play
tall
through.
lady
You take the
going
line
down
out here,
to a shorter lady in that scenario. You have to be so
Time on.
careful with your technique
Australia on
and
the
your
line,
initial
please.
contact.
Yeah, 100%. You can't go anywhere around the neck head area. And they all know that,
Yeah,
every
go, go,
team
go,
here.
'cause we played through the advantage, okay?
Andrea Burke on wearing
No,
22.
because you took it out.
Kelly Russell just outside
That's it. They set on
first
this.
receiver Alex
Okay,
Tessier,
time is
just
back
on the
on.
right of that frame. You can see the Canadian captain. Here's the first part of the plan.
No, wait back. Go back. Go back.
Tessier to her captain, comes round on the wrap. Tessier,
Yeah.
Thornborough using her physicality to set up the position for the next phase. There's Laura Russell. Again, the quick release. Menning. Almost struggling away there. Not quite, half an hour gone. Big point in the match though already. Pacan pulls the defender in, and then this time she can release Elisa Allery. And what a well-constructed try it is from Canada, making the most of the player advantage, pulling that Aussie defence this way and that, and then opening the door for the left winger.
It was the speed from the open side, Karen Pacan, that creates the overlet. You see it here. She gets on the outside, realises, you see there, Samoa has to face in, she can't drift. And as a result, the numbers on the outside, and she gets the pass to Allery.
Allery scored 2 tries against Hong Kong, 2 tries against Wales. Now already on the board against Australia. And delight in the stands for those wearing red and white. Miller, who managed 15 points in that Welsh matchup in the last outing. That's a cracking conversion. That's 2 more points for Brianna Miller, 2 more points for Canada, and for the first time in this match, the Canadians are in front.
They take immediate advantage of the one-woman overlap here. Pakan on the outside, draws in the 2 defenders, leaves 2 spare on the outside. And Brianna Miller, who's such an influence against Wales, nails the conversion.
So Australia have to settle themselves in for this next 7.5 minutes or so. With a player down and having just conceded that score, they've got to make sure they don't become to be impassive. Try and keep their game in some sort of shape. But you can tell the Canadians really have upped the ante. Wind most definitely in red sails at the moment. As Menin burst through, ZUSSMAN. ZUSSMAN storming down the flank. Good tackle coming in. She throws it, hopefully in field. It's gone forward, I think. Can Mahalia Murphy make something of it? No, she can't.
No advantage, Kane.
But once again, Julianne ZUSSMAN, well, you can see why we both voted for her as fullback in the Dream Team.
Oh, 100% to see her. They worked it beautifully. Nice offload by Thornborough again. And Menin doing some great work. She puts her head down, but look at Samantha Traherne come across. Effective one-on-one tackle, 15 on 15. That's well done.
Yeah, and a very important tackle once again from Traherne. We've seen a few of them already. Traherne, one of the 2 or 3 ever presents, playing every minute so far in this tournament for the Wallaroos. Butler and Hamilton, the other 2. Power surge from Canada.
Before it's just come out of the tunnel and then gone back in, that's all.
Timing just awry.
Australia down a second rower. Really taking the scrum with 7 women. So tough. Just against the dominant Canadian scrum, which was hard to stop when they had 8.
Millie Boyle has stepped up into the engine room, but still a body down. Quick ball allows Barker to move it away, and Shani Williams will happily do the hard yards to just make sure that her team can effect the exit that they need in this scenario. Samoa. There's Boyle.
No, come behind the ball, come behind the ball.
Oh, the kick from Houston never had enough height to it. And Canada sense an opportunity here to go again. To whisk out to Allery. Good work from Masters coming back. But the ball's still there for the ladies in red. Harvey appearing off the other wing. Williams takes her 7's foe down. As Laura Russell sticks her head down and drives again.
Okay, can I play the advantage? Okay, play the advantage.
Again, big, huge width on the passes, opening up the Australian defence. And it's Karen Pakan who slaloms her way through for another try. Another super Canadian score, able to effect and execute on opportunity.
I was really admiring the skill base of this Canadian team, the way they were able to keep their shape, effect long passes right in front, and the work of the wingers. Harvey on the right side comes to the left, and then Ellery comes across on the left and goes to the right and gives a nice little
take the
delayed pass
and then stop.
to Pakan.
Okay, turn back on. Okay. Thank you.
Well, what a big score.
conversion, yeah,
We've
that's
seen
fine.
2 very clever scores from the Canadians in the sin bin time that Rebecca Clough has been off the pitch.
We need to do it beforehand, so stop it now, Sarah.
Time off. Okay.
Okay, just when you thought
Sarah,
it was
here it comes
safe.
now. It's the left foot of gold 1 as she enters this ruck.
Well, there you can see it. No sense of tap dancing there from Liz Patu. It was The stamp coming down on Dalika Menin that the officials are looking at.
Just bear
There.
with me, Sarah, just bringing it backwards.
Okay, so gold one on.
Gold 1
Three
on the
red.
red player on the ground.
Yeah. Okay, so we played through the advantage, okay? If the advantage would be to be given, we played through that and we've scored the try, okay?
Here it is again now.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, the officials making sure
Yeah,
they
Betsy, can
get
you
their
just give it
score
in real
right.
speed, please?
I'll do it last time in real speed at that
Doesn't
end.
no,
seem
it's-
to have affected the scoring of the
goal.
try, it has to be said.
It's Liz Patu,
Okay, here we go, Sarah.
the loose head.
Yeah.
Comes in, Menon's
Okay,
there,
look.
gets rid of it.
Yeah,
It's gonna
okay,
be
look,
yellow
I've
or
got
just a
unnecessary
penalty?
use of the boot there
After
by
the
gold
kick.
1. Okay, basically what I've seen, I would have played the advantage, and the advantage led to a try for Canada. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
So for me, before the conversion, I'm going to put one Australia to the bin, allow the conversion, okay?
That's correct.
Yeah.
1 gold.
Captain and 1,
Sensible
please.
work from Sarah Cox to make sure she got everything covered.
Unnecessary use of the boot.
Discipline, an
Unnecessary use
issue
of the
from
boots, okay?
Australia.
We've gone out of our way.
Because they're now going to be down to 13 for the next 3 and a bit minutes.
Time up.
Liz Patu to the sin bin. Try remains for Canada. Suddenly this game is falling apart for the Wallaroos.
Just the lack of experience in the heat of the battle, unfortunately, is getting to this Australian team. Liz Patu, showing a little bit of frustration there. It's all from this Canadian team. The momentum that they've got.
Sit.
Well, Brianna Miller unable to add the extras, but to be honest, Canada will look at that and be
If the
delighted
behaviour-
with
if the
the
behaviour doesn't
turnaround
change,
in
we'll
this
just
game
continue putting
when they
people in the
realise
bin.
that
Okay,
now,
so we
for
need
the
it to
next
change
3
now,
minutes,
'cause that's 2.
there's 2 of those, their Australian counterparts are out of action.
Down to 13 women now, this Australian team, so they have to show a bit of ticker, try and limit the damage and get through to the half without leaking any more points.
That's right.
Shani Williams with the restart, the take from Allery. Bresnik always doing the hard yards, always doing almost the unseen work, the blindside flanker. Miller and Tessier trying to combine to make an opening this time. It is for Dalika Menin. It's Tessier again. Carolyn McEwen, former figure skater, showing some different shapes there to get Canada going. Passing huge and ambitious, but in the end it's Pacan who picks up the pieces and once again feeds Allery. Allery gets the ball through the contact. The ball moves back to Andrea Burke, and Canada have run in 3 tries in the space of the last
Red
4
knock on.
minutes.
Okay.
Within the 2 rucks.
Have a listen to this though.
There might be a knock-on, I think, from the
Okay,
Canadians
Sarah,
in
we're
the previous
teeing it up
run.
now. Here it is now. It's red 9.
That's the foot.
There.
Good spot from Kevin
No,
Beggs.
time is off. Okay, not yet. Okay.
Excellent work
Basically,
from
I
the
can't see it from
officials
here, so I'm
there.
gonna come through,
Tries going to be disallowed, and rightly so. Brianna Miller unable to take that cleanly, and credit to Sarah Cox as well for taking everything in. I don't think we
Right,
can
Betsy, go again,
underestimate how much information the referees in particular
Left arm of
have to
red
take
9.
at any given moment and assess. And there is the knock-on.
Daisy,
Sarah,
go on.
go ahead.
Can you give me that last angle again, please? Because
Okay, hang on.
Was a nice run. I think Ellery.
Okay, that's not very good, Sarah. We'll go back to the original angle.
yeah, please.
This is the definitive angle, and very
Sarah,
obviously
I'm
the
satisfied that
knock-on.
the ball was knocked forward
Yep.
by red 9.
Yeah,
I'll
fine.
just get yellow mark.
Yes,
We'll
please.
get there in the end some stage.
No try, knock on.
Just a slightly prolonged assessment from the officials, but the correct call in the end.
No try. Knock on.
Being played by Tori. Knock on. Brianna Miller.
So the knock-on was affected in the
He's
Canadian
talking
half.
in riddles to me, hang on. Right.
So a sin bin
Hello,
replacement
coach. Okay,
for
right,
Australia brings Hannah Ngaha on. There she is.
Go back here. Let's go back here. Correct, okay. Knock on.
Tight head prop from Sunnybank Rugby Club in Brisbane. He's actually going to be playing, I think, at loose head, unless Samoa is going to swap over.
Just a bit of juggling with the lack of numbers 13 on for Australia, and that's a big
Yeah,
let-off. You can't underestimate
level.
that big moment in this game. Australia still keep themselves in at only 12 points down.
Time is off.
Drop another converted try there. It'll be very tough to get back into this
Thank you
game.
very much. I think you want this one. There you go. Okay, time back on. Let's go.
I think Grace Hamilton is the one that has ceded her place.
Hello.
As Chloe Butler is there wearing the 7, but going to pack down at 8. And finally, we can get back to the game.
Well, this is going to be a tough scrum for the Australians. 6 women in here, so straight in, straight out, get rid of it.
Crouch. Are you in or out? Bind. Set. Steady.
Well, inevitably, huge power coming through, but great work from Chloe Butler. The Parramatta 2 Blues back row are doing incredibly well to pick that up in retreat. Rumble is the call.
Wait.
Campbell feeds out to Butler once again. Millie Boyle making some headway now for Australia into the final minute of this half. And Australia still 2 players down,
Ball's out.
2 tries down as well. Lack of presentation, though, not helping their cause, and it's Canada who pick up their attack just outside the 22, and they will look to go down this left flank. They've made hay through this first half. ZUSSMAN and Allery once again combining well. Allery stepping, causing Australian defenders all sorts of problems. Great work from Traherne again. My goodness me, the Aussie fullback has had a sterling game in defence. Ngaha with the trundle up over halfway.
Backwards.
Pass from Ashley Hewson.
Thank you very much.
Not sympathetic, to say the least. And Hewson says, let's just get to the hutches now. The ball goes out, the whistle goes. And despite Australia's brilliant start to this game, it's Canada who've come back to penalise the Wallaroos in discipline with those 4 tries. It means that at half-time, it is Canada leading the way, 24 points to 12.
The bronze medal match. France 19, United States 10.
The match barometer pointing to the ladies in red, Carlton Arnott. What will the coaches say on the relative sides, do you think?
Well, I think for the Australians, they just had to be a little bit more composed. This Canadian team, they were able to absorb the initial Australian pressure, be able to come away with some nice, well-taken tries, but they're still in this match. That's the thing, this Australian team. Don't get too worried. You're going to get back into this one.
Well, be interesting to see what the final 40 holds at half-time. It is Canada with their noses in front, 24 points to 12.
They're lost, leave it now. Penalty advantage. Penalty advantage is still there. Okay, lost, leave it now. Penalty advantage. Penalty advantage is still there. Penalty advantage was against your 5 for taking the player out late, okay? Let's not have any more of that. Penalty advantage is still there. Penalty advantage was against your 5. Reps! It's gone backwards. Left forward, play the advantage. Advantage over. It's gone backwards. Left forward, play the advantage. Advantage over. It's gone backwards. Left forward, play the advantage. Advantage over. Leave it now, Red. Hands out. Here we go. Get it. Well done, JD. Penalty advantage. The advantage is still there. Good sorry, Captain. Okay, can I play the advantage? Okay, play the advantage.
Welcome back to the Queen's University Sports Campus. We're at half-time in this fifth place playoff. It is Canada who forced themselves in front with 2 tries in the last 10 minutes of that half. There's the basic stats. Carlton Arno, what do you make of those?
Well, the Canadians had to make a lot more tackles, and that was in that first 20 minutes where Australia really did dominate possession, but it's the penalties conceded, 2 yellow cards, the ill discipline from the Australians really did compound matters at the back end of that first half. But there's one back right there. They have to keep the discipline to have any chance, which they are in this match.
Rebecca Clough back into the fray for the beginning of this second half. In her absence, Canada scored those 2 tries to push themselves in front. Now Australia still without Liz Patu for the opening moments of this game, but Shani Williams will know that her team has to settle in and settle in quickly just to get the right rhythm, which we saw in the opening 15-20 minutes, quite beautifully produced from the green and golds. Miller out to Olivia de Merchant on in the front row for Canada.
An advantage.
Pull of the hair, I think, there on Brianna Miller, but Canada continuing. Lovely hands from the Canadians. Paquin out to Allery, but and the circus skills just letting her down at the last minute there.
Oh, it was just behind her, wasn't it? Unfortunately for Allery. Very nice to watch that offline ability, especially when you're in contact. You see the way they're able to change their line. That was a good piece from Paquin, but just a little bit behind the winger.
Yeah, just onto the back hip of Elisa Allery there. Referee has played the advantage, I think.
No, my fault. We're a bit further over. Just step over. Just step over. It's my fault.
It is going to be an Aussie put in. Shane Campbell, the lady with the ball. Good work at the front by Kayla Mack.
Hasn't Mack been good since he's come into this game for Latoya Blackwood and jersey number 19? They have not lost anything with her.
Very experienced operator, of course, Kayla Mack. That is a lovely line out from Australia. Worked it really well. Lovely arc to the throw. Shani Williams, the skipper, now trying to get them into a better position. Chloe Butler.
What's unfortunate there was an offensive tackle, but they just couldn't roll away. When they counter-ruck, weren't able to place the ball.
You need to get out quicker, please.
Australia will just be looking to build on what they achieved in that first 20 minutes and try and forget the last quarter of an hour or so. Williams said that she's seen the Aussie mongrel coming through in her side, and they need to find that determination, that edge, without going over the line. The kick is not going to help them, and Canada coming straight back in their faces with de Merchant. Tessier and Russell combining well to open the door for Carolyn McEwen. The loose head powers her way forward. Canada flooding through in numbers. Tessier with a little help from her friends. Miller swings it out to Allery. Thornbreast staying firm in the contact, but already this Aussie defence being pummeled in the opening exchanges of the second half.
Stolen!
Turnover, though, is going to help their cause.
Join behind!
Ngaha. Oh, the pass not helping Shani Williams, and my goodness me, that was brave from the Wallaroos skipper. Hewson completes the exit, and Australia can just draw breath.
Yeah, Alicia Samoa it was with the turnover. It looked like the Canadians have finally got some ascendancy. Here's the missed touch finder. Good tap back by Alex Tessier. Just the intensity by the Canadians. Here's the turnover. They take one up. That's McEwen. Just the rip right there. Shani Williams was the one affecting that turnover, the captain.
excuse me. They've got a man down in the back line here. Sorry.
Just concern in the Australian camp for Ashley Hewson.
Gonna have to be quick, okay, because we're gonna go play on. Right?
Hewson, who, would you believe, made her debut in 2009 against Samoa. Well, there's a good mix on that particular board, which gives you an indication of the opening 20-25 minutes.
Look at that ZUSSMAN, though, we know. Explain about how good she's been, but number 6 for Australia, Millie Ball, right up there as well with her. Nice hard carries, getting well over the advantage line.
The take at the front from Groznik. Laura Russell sets up the position for the forwards. McEwen has to rescue the ball, though. Miller doing the dog to dig the ball out, takes the quick tap. Tessier immediately throwing out to the captain, Kelly Russell, looking on her inside, and as ever, her wingman, or wingwoman there, is Paquin. Tessier feeds out to Laura Russell. The quick presentation not giving Australia time to resurrect that green and gold wall. Tessier. Out again, but this time the handling goes awry. The pickup is from Saval.
Leave it!
And Australia survive.
Oh, only just us scrambling, aren't they? They're scrambling
okay?
for everything at the moment, but that's that fight you were speaking about there, Shani Williams is talking about right here. There's the mistake. They go down quickly, and Paquin, the number 7, just goes in for Canada. Unfortunately, wasn't able to effect that turnover, just a half a second too slow.
There's Ashley Hewson, a 3rd Rugby World Cup. Returned after injury, of course, to that game against Ireland at the Kingspan. The Aussie line-out works well, and it's into midfield with Williams.
No, leave it, right, leave it!
Gaha using her bulk to set up the next phase. It's a loose pass, though, which Samoa has to rescue. Another loose pass, not helping the flow to this Aussie attack, much as they're making a little bit of headway each time round. Williams spots a gap, brought down just by Andrea Burke. Boyle. See the work the Australian front rowers are doing. Really makes a difference to the way that they can play, but the passing is not helping them. Hewitt goes again, but they're another 11, 12 metres from where they last were. Phase after phase they may be, but they're not making the territorial advantage. Charge down, Hewson, quick to recover. A lot of effort being expended here, but at last they pick up a gallop up to their 10-metre line. Sarah Cox inadvertently getting in the way.
Well, they've had to make tackle after tackle after tackle. This Australian team, can see their fatigue is definitely a factor. But Cheyenne Campbell with a huge run for her side. The hooker with the scrum cap. She's got such a long wind-up, has Ashley Hewson. And it's the second time she's been charged down, and the Canadians realise that.
Second time by Kelly Russell as well. Australia returning to their full complement. That's Grace Hamilton back into the mix. Girl from country New South Wales.
And number 4? Substitution.
Actually started playing the game on a university exchange to the States. You'd never have thought that would have been on her career path. Rebecca Clough bidding adieu to this tournament as Liz Patu comes back into big smile on her face. Looking forward to this final 23 minutes, or 33 minutes I should say, of World Cup action in this tournament anyway. Just 28 years of age, so hopefully plenty of rugby left for the Queenslander. 15 against 15 is restored. Hewson with nobody in particular to offload to, so takes the contact. You see the red shirts swarming around the ball carrier without over-committing to the contact area. That means there's numbers there for them somewhere, and pressure on the ball carrier bears dividends once again.
Yeah, Andrea Burke there was the one. Katrina Barker picked the ball up at the halfback roll, took a couple of steps, and it just gave enough time for Burke to come and hit it. Here's Barker having a look up, double pump. Burke comes on the right side, great timing on the tackle.
Barker blindsided means that Canada have the put in. You can see fairly even half, very even in terms of possession, as it was in the first half, a 50-50 call.
Crouch! Bind! Set! Steady!
Russell caught by Barker, but determination from the Canadian captain. Tessier. Thornborough. Alan McEwen. The jouet that Francois Ratier calls for is very evident in scenes like this. Allery with great hands to Paquin. Paquin inside the ZUSSMAN. That is a thing of rugby beauty. Rugby poetry at its best from the Canadians. That's what they can produce. Francois Ratier's jouet comes to fruition once again.
What I like about this, you don't necessarily have to take it into context. See, they're passing pre-line. No one's taking a tackle. Yeah, they're putting the ball into space to Paquin right there. The last pass, and ZUSSMAN, well, she gets a double in this match.
Just the combination of forwards and backs and the confidence on the ball, let alone the handling skills. You know that with Karen Paquin, that you've got that multifaceted forward. But the working of close quarter scenario, the handling, the teasing of defenders out of position, and above all, the speed with which they operate.
When they do pass the ball before the line, they're not taking themselves out of play. They're able to still keep in their support line, and that's the secret there. Those nice quick passes and running into space, putting the ball there. And as you said, doing it quickly, so effective.
Half an hour left in this game, and Canada break into a 3-score lead. Miller flirting with that right hand upright, but not quite on target now. But that is a significant buffer now for the finalists from 2014. Just take a look at the way that this set up. Paquin, a key cog as ever, but able to finish off in such style.
She's just such a great link player, isn't she, though, Masai? Karen Paquin, been brilliant all tournament long.
So 5 tries in the bag for the Canadians. Australia ran in there second on the 20-minute mark from Liz Patu. Have to respond, have to find something. Traherne trying to stay strong in the contact with a little bit of help from Murphy and Savall. The choke tackle working there for Canada, though. Haven't seen much of that in this tournament. We see it a lot in the men's, but there was a case of strength producing the possession that Canada are after in defence.
France lead the United States 31 points to 16.
There's the loose-head Carolyn McEwen, but what do those stats tell you, Carl?
She's had the ball a lot of times going forwards, made a lot of metres obviously, but the tackles made, so she's been all around the park doing those extra yards because the scrum, which is her core responsibility, has been absolutely on point for sure.
It just signifies the all-court game that Canada expect from everybody, 1 to 15.
Well, the thing is too, Simon, backs can't do anything if the forwards don't lay the platform, and that's what she's done for sure, Caroline McEwen.
Magali Harvey has remained remarkably quiet, playing on the wrong wing, she would think, because that lady, Alyssa Allery, has had plenty of opportunity to show what she's about.
It just hasn't, it's been one of those games that really hasn't gone Magali Harvey's way, has it? Especially from set-piece play. She tried to get involved a couple of times to come around off her wing and get the ball in her hands. But these long sweeping movements have, unfortunately, well, I shouldn't say unfortunately, but have gone Allari's way.
Crunch! Bind! Set! Steady!
Quick release from the set piece, but Shani Williams has to go again from the bouncing ball. Look at the work of Pakan again at the breakdown. And Canada again. Oh, Magali Harvey just thought she had the chance there. Unable to keep hold of the ball.
And again, the strength of this Canadian scrum is putting Australia in all sorts of pressure. Katrina Barker just can't get a free release.
I don't think we've had
But
the
it was
screen
Pakan with the turnover, and we've seen her in attack.
No score in that time.
Her pace allows her to become that auxiliary back, centre or wing, it doesn't matter. But there we saw restore, doing the open side, the core values of the open side, really, and having a very impactful day.
Yeah, made a lot of tackles,
I've not seen it.
both
and I
close
can only
and
do
out
what
wide,
I've seen.
but there's an
No, no.
offload. 3 of them, I think, have been for
I've seen
tries.
it.
But here she is, realising where the breakdown's going to be. There's the tackle release, straight over the ball. Great technique.
Yep.
1, 2, 3 players couldn't clean her out because of the great position, the body positions she had on the ball.
And she gave up her job as a chemical engineer in order to play rugby.
Crunch!
7s and then 15s.
Bind!
You cannot underestimate what these women have done to make sure they're here and make sure that they can play a part for their country. Houston. Barker finds the forwards coming round with intent. Australia need to get another score on the board. They've already done better, or will do better, than their 7th place placing in 2014. But they will want that 5th spot if they possibly can, but they're going to have to work hard to get into this game. Houston makes sure that they've got possession to go again. Barker keeps things moving. Those forwards quite happy to come round and just do a 2-3 metres each time, but they find themselves in the Canadian 22 with Samoa.
Stolen!
Samoa, who scored against Canada in that game in Rotorua, but they relinquish possession. And Harvey, again, just a half an opportunity, but it's just not working today for Magali Harvey.
Cindy Nels, watch your head, the number 4, the second row, gets another turnover right in the shadows
1.
of the post. And Pakan, well, if one thing she has to work on, I would say a little bit of the passing.
Left-hand passing. Maybe that's why Magali Harvey's not had so much possession. Big changes off the Canadian bench. There you go.
Goal 14!
With Barbara Mervyn, Jane Kirby in, Brittany Castle in as well. There's Barbara Mervyn, a vet, really. Her 3rd Rugby World Cup.
Turn back on.
Change in the Australian backline as well. Trilene Pomeray started at 10 in this tournament. Interesting to see where she fits in now.
substitution for Australia.
having replaced a winger.
22, Julianne.
Still great attacking opportunity for Australia, but again, just when they thought they could mount an attack, they lose the ball, and it's Canada with their forwards rolling up their sleeves to drive themselves away from danger.
Good pressure on the kick, but what about the hustle from Brianna Miller? She upsets Katrina Barker and then gets the turnover.
There's Alex Tessier. Interesting to see how she's gone today. Ostensibly started as a centre, but playing in that pivotal fly-half role. She's played there before for Canada, but having made her World Cup debut at centre against Hong Kong, Ratier just looking to see what she's got about her as that pivot. The Wallaroos trying to get another score on the board, pushing themselves back into contention in this game. Coming up to the hour mark. This would be a big psychological score if they can manage it.
There, stay! Wait here, wait here, wait here.
Hewitt leading the way. Barker swings it out to that back line. Off a wing comes Murphy.
Backwards.
Again, the passing not accurate enough.
First one went backwards from goal, second one just came
They
off.
will get the scrum put in, but again, just not able to find that precision.
It was on though. Murphy had created the 2-on. There it is there. She hits.
Kelly.
Poor Muddy.
Just be careful on the offside
They would
lines,
have
okay?
scored on
Need to
their
make sure they're
right-hand
down from way
side. They've done
back,
everything right except that last pass.
It is a sign of the development of the Wallaroos that we've seen from that first game in Ireland, which, let's face it, they only lost because the ball toppled off the tee at the wrong time for Trahan. But they've developed that game. Yeah, I know they took a whacking from France in the second, but they've produced 5 tries in both of the last 2 games. And they seem to have got forwards and backs combining so well. Just not quite happened today. We saw it for the first 15, 20 minutes, maybe.
Yeah, just a little bit of polish. They come out all in 2, especially after their last effort where they beat the home team quite convincingly. So they come with this with a lot of confidence, but you always knew the Canadians would be able to absorb that, and that's the mark of this team, and where they really do need to make a lot of learnings because of the lack of test rugby that they've had over the last few years has been able to sustain that for the whole period. But if they score next and get a 7-pointer, there's still a very long period to go in this game. They aren't out of it yet.
Well, Barker desperately trying to get that ball out, but you see the ascendancy in which the Canadian forwards are right now in that particular phase of play.
Well, it's just been so tough at the base of the scrum all day long for this Australian team. Barker under huge duress. Grace Hamilton probably needs just to get her head out and get the ball out and try and do it through Barker.
Well, you realise that Canada have only conceded 3 penalties in the entire match, and none of them have been inside their own half. That shows tremendous discipline and concentration. Brianna Miller's day is done, allowing Chelsea Guthrie to get some game time. There she is. Tessier into the midfield with Kelly Russell. Russell has not missed a single minute of this Canadian campaign. Always leading from the front. Such a talismanic figure, talismanic character. Barbara Mervyn, try scorer in that last game against Wales. To Merchant. Castle, another few metres, just making some headway before Paquin releases Allery once again. Paquin on the inside, should Allery need her? Big tackle coming in from Pomeroy, and it needed to. Big hit on Demerchant from, I think it was Millie Boyle. And this game just never stops.
Play
Australia trying to get their train stoked and ready to go out of their own 22.
Look, you've always
Yeah,
gone
no real
backwards,
advantage
you've
here
gone
from the
nowhere.
knock-on, but it
It's
was a
knock-on
nice shot.
advantage, okay?
And you're right, it was from the blind side, Millie Boyle. Here it is here. Oh, this is the initial break from, once again, Pakan. Giving it to Ellery. She does well to stay in here. Does Ellery. Look at this shot here. Get down in you.
Behind you. Well, Millie Boyle sticking to her task. Into the final quarter of this fifth place playoff.
Set.
As Australia trying to kick themselves back into the game. But the power of those Canadian forwards again produces ball, one against the head, and Kelly Russell is onto the front foot yet again. Cindy Nels, try scorer against Wales. Andrea Burke.
Take it out.
The tap and go from Chelsea Guthrie, almost there. Kelly Russell's in as first receiver. I'm not sure she's going to get the ball coming out of this.
Penalty advantage.
The advantage is there. Canada think they pushed the ball against the posts.
2.
Shane Campbell is being called forward.
No, 2 first. Off you
And
go.
the third Australian player is going to sit out in the sin bin.
Scrum.
Pressure is really ramping up on the green and golds.
Well, she's been so good for her team. The vice-captain, Cheyenne Campbell. I think this is just
they need to
a knock-on
sub-
effect.
okay, yeah.
Too many penalties in this area. You can see there a lot of hands on hips. It's great for everything, and I'm going to need a front row to come on, put the scrum down.
Well, there's a deja vu that Australia really didn't want. Campbell
Number 14.
yellow carded after 7 minutes in that game at Rotorua. Had to wait till 63 minutes in this game here in Belfast. Magali Harvey being replaced by Brittany Waters out wide.
Who's talking? Sorry.
So, changes called for up front. Emily Robinson comes on to win
Guys,
another
are
cap.
we all done with substitutions?
Who has gone off, though, from the back line? I think it's Molly Gray being pulled off. There she is, 19.
Number 19.
Only
Okay,
just
number
come
19.
on.
It's telling me Molly's coming off, and I'm not sure who Molly is.
Yeah, that was 19.
Okay.
Here we go, Canada!
Okay.
Let's do it, let's do it.
That's
Right.
tough.
Time back
That's
on.
tough when you waited so long to get on the park. And Molly Gray has to give way for that sin bin.
Coach!
So, Emily Robinson, known as Grommy,
Bye!
for reasons best known to herself, plays for the Warringah Rats on the northern beaches of Sydney. And again, the Canadian pack turning the screw, putting Australia under the cosh. Kelly Russell is walking towards another try. It's so simple in that situation.
Well, they know what it means for their captain to see there. She's in the middle of it, just enveloping it. And she deserves this, as she spoke about. Simon played every single second of this World Cup. She's just such a colossus for this team. She has been for a very long time, and it's fitting that she gets this try after some hard work. She does all the dirty stuff, all the nasty stuff. Does Kelly Russell, the captain. But this occasion, she gets the rewards.
Yeah, after the hat-trick against Hong Kong, she adds another single. Andrea Burke taking over kicking responsibilities. Now Miller and Harvey are off the park. And Canada now, you would think, in a secure lead.
It's just been a weapon for them, hasn't it? This scrum for this Canadian team. In all of their games so far, probably going to get the parity they wanted when they played the Black Ferns, but they reassessed, came back in their last 2 games, has been absolutely outstanding. Kelly Russell, number 8, see the second flag, and there you go.
I'm not sure where the pink cows come from, but they're celebrating whatever, enjoying life, the Canadian fans. Francois Ratier in his last game. Yes, sir, I know it is. Took over with the Canadians in 2013. Took them, of course, to the final in 2014. And, well, what a campaign it's been. Disappointing as they are, no doubt, for not getting further towards another cup final. You remember they were 3-1-1 last time, a draw and a loss to the eventual world champions. Who knows, it looks like it's going to be 4-1 this time, and that loss may be to the world champions once again.
Well, like I said, only lost 2 games in the last 2 World Cups, so that's a pretty good effort from this Canadian outfit.
Line out.
The thing is, for Australia, these are the learnings you have to take away from this World Cup. One, especially today, the ill discipline. You cannot afford to be 30 minutes down with 14 women, and at one stage they were down to 13, weren't they?
Sweet there.
They've been very good. I've liked the way they've built into this tournament. They've really showed us a lot, this Australian unit.
Patu taking over the line-out duties in the absence of Campbell.
Advantage.
Traherne. Haven't seen much of her in attack, but my goodness me, she has been resolute in defence. Samoa. Barker keeping things moving this time for Grace Hamilton. Plays a rugby out of Sydney University, as does that lady, Ashley Hewson. Led Sydney to their 3rd consecutive national title against ACT, finished things off with 19 points.
She's not tackled! Leave it red, lost!
Losing the ball in the contact allows Chelsea Guthrie to streak away, but there was an illegality to it. And having said how disciplined Canada have been inside their own half, there is the first penalty they've conceded inside their own territory in 67 minutes.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. That's been the difference between the 2 teams, really, hasn't it?
No, I'm going for your penalty. Time is off. He's talking to me, okay? Yep. Yep. Right, okay. So we're going here, Begsy.
Conference
right.
amongst the officials.
So we had something down here by you guys, okay? We've now got a push by 20, all right? It's your penalty, all right?
Barbara Mervin's push is going to...
That, okay? There's no need, yes.
It was just on Ashley Hewson in number 10. That's why she's given a little bit of advice for Sarah Cox. And watch Hewson after she passes this ball. If it gets any later, geez, we'll be into tomorrow. Pretty lucky to still be there.
Patu can't find her target, and the attacking moment is gone again for Australia.
Stay up! Leave the legs!
These Canadian forwards have been dominant in the set piece throughout. Difficult for the loose head taking over line-out duties, of course, in the absence of Cheyenne Campbell, temporary absence as it is. Waters. The release to Andrea Burke. The Capilano centre trying her darndest to stay in play.
They threaten so quickly on the edge because they're moving the ball into space. Fortunately, Burke can't stay in, but it's a good tackle by Saval in the end. And this is where they've been really good at getting in the front of the Australian jumpers there. That was a nice take by Kayla Mack. She's been a monster in the line out as well, the number 19.
It works this time for Australia. But again, Shani Williams is having to backtrack, but now she finds forward gear. Support is there, she chips and chases. Traherne's after it. Traherne almost there, but the ball just getting over the line first, I think.
She's a top shelf player, Shani Williams. Average pass, but she does the clean up on aisle 3 and goes through the hole. That's the second 5. If this ball stays in, they're in. This wasn't the best ever, but she knew your winger was out there. Just a little bounce to the right, unfortunately, didn't go away for Trahan.
Well, Australia have worked so hard in attack, and they will feel that 2 tries is not a fair reward for the opportunities that they've created. But half an hour with the player down has not helped their cause, it has to be said.
Yes.
Mervyn getting a high contact there to give the advantage to Canada.
Just keep them
ZUSSMAN. They will go back for that earlier call from the officials. Alicia Hewitt, I think, was the one coming through with the high shot.
Right round the chops there, so that's fair enough.
That's enough.
Kirby and Mervyn provide the line-out hinge for Canada to go again. Look at the way that these runners can just change balance, change pace almost, to open up the gap, to open up the opportunity. Kelly Russell again. No thought of a sidestep from the Canadian captain. Andrea Burke, a veteran of this Canadian side. Tessier at the other end of the scale, but looking to make big impact on the way that Canada play. Nels with a lovely offload. The ball out the back almost to Brittany Waters, the dummy run from ZUSSMAN. And once again, Canada being able to link phases together. Good tackle from Murphy. Pomenet with nowhere to go. So Canada have to go again, go hard from their own 22.
Inside, charge down.
Again, Houston has a kick charge down. This time the ricochet works. Almost Shani Williams just losing the ball at the last moment. Good pickup again from Nels, and again it's Karen Paquin. Paquin walking into the tackle, but Canada running towards another try. Here it is, it's Alyssa Allery, and once again Canada pull their attack into great gear to unhinge the Australian defence, and it's another score on the board for Alyssa Allery.
Well, it's been that combination, isn't it? 7 for Canada, 11 for Canada. Here's the first part of it. Karen Paquin going up the middle of the park, using her footwork, sets it up nice. He gets quick ball, good clean out. The captain's there to release the ball. And then Thornbarrow gives that last pass to Allery. He's been so good with his distribution. On this occasion, gets her double.
A double against Hong Kong, a double against Wales, and now a double against Australia. Alyssa Allery has certainly made her mark on this tournament.
They're on the huddle, so you might as well send them on.
Burke finds her target from the tee. Again, Australian ill-discipline costing them tries. 7 minutes to go. time to nominate your Aon Player of the Match. Carlton Arno, what's your call?
The lady who made that initial break up the middle of the park, I think the number 7, Karen Pakan, has been absolutely outstanding in this game. There she is there, doing all her core work at the breakdown, multiple turnovers, but it's been the timing of where she's been able to introduce herself, whether it be with her runs, with her breaks, with her tackles, or with her turnovers. She's been absolutely brilliant today.
Karen Pakan, the Canadian Sevens Player of the Year a couple of years ago, gets the Aon Player of the Match here in 2017. Australia's sin bin is reversed to allow Molly Gray back onto the park. Canada so confident now with their game plan, so confident with ball in hand. Looking to play from anywhere. Tired Australian legs working hard to keep them hemmed in. Millie Boyle hasn't stopped. She has been in attack and defence one of the stalwarts of this Australian side.
Stolen. First man.
Turnover ball for the Wallaroos. In comes Fenella Hack, the replacement scrum half. Here she is wearing 21. Williams with the quick offload, but Barbara Mervyn up hard and fast, but not releasing in the tackle.
There must be a clear release.
Hewson eager to keep things moving, to get something on the board before they finish. The last 5 minutes of Rugby World Cup 2017 for both these teams. Canada, who've come strong since that disappointing loss to the Black Ferns. Australia, who have produced in moments some quite stunning rugby. Looking to finish with something of a smile on their face. Saval can't keep the ball though.
Australia, I think they deserve something for their efforts in the second half. They've fought bravely for every single metre that they've gained. A couple of times, I wish they had a little bit more polish.
So we'll go with the penalty, yeah?
Could have still been in this match. But this Canadian team, well, they've just been too good, haven't they? Some of their tries have been absolutely brilliant.
Penalty against Red 20 for a tackle off the ball.
Barbara Mervyn has been penalised. Ashley Hewson determined to finish with
just here,
the last score of this fifth place playoff. Sixth place, well, that's an advance of one from the last World Cup. Third place in 2010 was the best Australian finish.
Kelly, twice. No, I understand, but we've got to be looking up, okay?
Louise Burrows on wearing 16 for the Wallaroos.
Entry. Penalty advantage.
Once again, Russell and Pakan combining. They seem to have an instinct between the two of them that benefits their team in so many occasions. Pakan, one of the 18 in this group that were in Paris in 2014.
You must come through, okay?
The fifth place, well, obviously it's not their best, but they will look at the record books and see a recovery from that New Zealand game, which should put a smile on Michel Rattier's face there on the left of picture. Because that all-out attacking game that he craves, he's seen since in the Wales game and in this game. Wraparound from Tessier. Canada playing sevens rugby inside their own half. Waters, one of several players that's played in a World Cup Sevens final and a 15s final, along with Karen Russell, Pack, and of course Magali Harvey was also in that position. Guthrie, huge missed passes, but the alignment not quite right there. And Kayla Mack struggling to pull that one in from over her shoulder into the last 90 seconds of this game. You have to remember the evolution of this Australian side. There were 11 of the squad made their debuts in that series in New Zealand 2 months ago. So this experience consequently will be invaluable to the development of the 15s game within Australia. Hopefully it will be given the resources to develop as well and ultimately prove to be as successful as the sevens team has been. They certainly have shown what they're about through the course of their World Cup campaign here in Ireland. Hewson out to Trilene Pomeray. Final seconds of Rugby World Cup 2017 for Canada and Australia. The Canadians are going to get victory. Can Australia get something to finish with to please their fans in the stands, of which there are many?
Thank you very much.
Williams, as ever, showing huge determination allied to skill. Louise Burrows, known as Cookie, sets the ball back for a team to go again. It's not going to happen this time, though.
Yeah, it is.
Just getting isolated now. Kelly Russell just checking with the referee that that's it.
No, so if you tap, then kick out, it's over.
Tap, the kick out, the final whistle. Canada finish Rugby World Cup 2017 with victory and the 5th place. Australia have laid their marker and their identity on this tournament, though, producing some quite thrilling rugby. It's a super 7 tries for Canada that means their final scoreline in Rugby World Cup 2017 is Australia 12, Canada 43.
Winning the bronze medal of this Women's Rugby World Cup 2017, beating the United States 31 points to 23.
Plenty for both teams to reflect on. Big smiles on Canadian faces with that performance to send Francois Ratier on his way, but those Aussie girls, they can be happy with what they've produced in extenuating circumstances in terms of the preparation and setup for them. Now they will be hoping that they can press on as well in both formats of the games. Who knows how many of these girls we'll see in 4 years' time. But they have been some quite superb rugby athletes through the course of this last 3 weeks that have added so much to the high standard of rugby that we've seen throughout this tournament. Ashley Hewson being consoled there by Grace Hamilton. Unlikely that she will see World Cup action again. Let's get down pitch side. Well, Carlton Honor is talking to the Canadian captain, Kelly Russell.
Well, Kelly, I must say some of those tries were a joy to watch. Looked like the ladies were enjoying themselves out there today.
Yeah, that was a fun one to play. I mean, that's the way we want to play with high tempo. We want to play uneven, use the width of the field, and use the speed.
I must say, early on, though, this Australian team applied a lot of pressure.
Yeah, of course, everybody's going to bring it. This is the final game of the World Cup. They played real hard and gave us a hard time in those breakdowns, but I'm so proud of the girls and the effort they put out there. The heart was amazing all throughout the tournament. It's incredible.
And how important was having F like that, the senior coach Francois Rotte, off on a winning note?
Oh yeah, he's been amazing for women's rugby in Canada, the program, building us to where we are. It's a big thank you to him, and very, very proud to play with every one of these girls. And the support from the Canadians here and back home is absolutely amazing. I want to say thank you to them as well.
I'm going to put the pressure on you. You were in the final last time. Unfortunately, you couldn't make it tonight, but who are you picking, England or New Zealand?
Oh gosh, I mean, I just want a good game of rugby.
There we go, go enjoy yourself.
Yeah, thanks.
Kelly Russell unwilling to put the Canadian dollar on either of the sides for the cup final. There's Francois Ratier, his last official duties as Canadian head coach, and what a service he has done to Canadian rugby. Let's get down to get a reflection on the Australian campaign from their captain, Shani Williams.
Well, Shani, I know a tough day at the office for you, but I suppose discipline was an issue today.
Yeah, it was a little bit of an issue, but we haven't played a lot of footy, and playing at that high pace sort of game really got us on that backward step, and that's when we were just scrambling, so that's where that discipline really needed to step up.
Just tell me about the advancement, not only of this tournament, but even the last couple of months where your team has started. Up until now, I think it's been outstanding.
Yeah, I mean, we've built up every game that we've played. We've been together for 6 weeks, and it's just about giving those girls the professionalism, really teaching them what it's like to be a professional day in, day out, and I think they really enjoyed themselves and really enjoyed being a professional athlete.
Now just tell me, what was your most enjoyable moment of this whole tournament?
Just stripping up with the girls, playing 15s again, getting out in that back line and just working really hard for my teammates. You know, 7s is very, very fast, but being out here with the girls and having, you know, 23, 28 girls around and staff, it just really builds that momentum and that fun footy.
Well, you've done Australia proud. Keep your head up and good luck and enjoy the night.
Thank you very much, Carl. Cheers.
Well, deserved applause for the Australian team. Yeah, they may not have got the win to finish, but they have produced some quite stunning rugby, as has that Canadian outfit. Some quite brilliant rugby from many of the teams in this tournament that has raised the bar significantly. There's the Aon Player of the Match, Louise Caveni, the VIP presenting the award to Karen Packer. A complete all-court game from Packer, also from the Canadian team, to produce a super 7 tries in their final outing here at the Queen's University Belfast. It puts an end to the activities here at this particular venue, who have hosted us so well over the last week. The end of the campaign for Canada and Australia. They've both done themselves proud. The full-time score has finished Australia 12, Canada 43.